Okay, so this is a video of me explaining Ketu moon conjunction in someone's chart. What happens when the south node Ketu is conjunct moon in your birth chart? Very briefly as usual, let me explain what the hell is the south node Ketu. South node Ketu is a significator of moksha, which is just spiritual liberation, separation from things of the material world. South node Ketu represents the things you've already experienced and dealt with in your past life, and therefore you don't really have no desire to experience those same things again. And if you do, you want to express them in a more foreign, unique way that you haven't experienced them before. And because it would be hard for you to experience something that you've already experienced several times before in a new and different way, that area of your life becomes a bit of a difficult area, or it's an area of just, I'm the word is escaping me, but it's not a very desirable area of your life. You don't have no desire. It doesn't bring no happiness. It doesn't bring no fulfillment. It's a very difficult area. What is the moon? Very simple. Significator of your mind, your mother figures, water and liquids and mirrors. That's essentially what the moon is. Can't really come up with too many long-winded explanations of what the moon is. And just like I can't come up with too much long explanations of what is the moon, this should be a fairly short and small video explaining what happens when Ketu and moon comes together. Because ultimately, you really need to know the sign and the nakshatra that these two are in for you to really see what's going to happen. Because the moon and the nodes, they do not produce their own light. The color that's associated with moon is the color white. And the color white is very reflective. It reflects things, just like the moon. The moon is a reflection of, it reflects the light of the sun. It's a reflection of the soul. Sun is soul, moon is mind. So the moon is a reflection of the sun, which is why the moon is also a significator of mirrors, because mirrors, they reflect things. In the north node and south node, they're mathematical points. They're not physical positions. They're not physical things that you can touch. They're known as shadow grahas, shadow planets. And even then, a shadow is not formed unless there is light. So this tells me that both the north node and south node and or the moon greatly get their characteristics from other people, from other things, from other influences. So what I'll be saying when it comes to a conjunction of the north node or south node with the moon will be greatly generalized unless I know someone's chart specifically and see what sign that these two are in. Which is why if you go on YouTube, you'll see pretty much a very vague descriptions or general descriptions of moon placements and south node, north node, moon conjunctions and all that stuff. But anyway, one of the things you could see with moon conjunct Ketu is that it shows us that you've already experienced and dealt with the things in relation to the moon. You already dealt with things in relation to the moon. Ketu is the things you already experienced and dealt with, and moon is the things I just said, which is the mother and the mind. Ketu is a headless planet. It doesn't have a head. So it doesn't think conventionally. It doesn't think practically. It doesn't think logically. One of the things that this shows us is that you've already dealt with the things, dealt with karma in relation to the mother. Or, yeah, you have some karma tied to mother and mother type figures. So in this lifetime, with this conjunction, you might not desire to have a relationship with your mother or mother figure. You might not have that connection with your mother. There might be clashes between you and your mother. Y'all might just not get along. She might be non-existent. Or you just might not desire to, like I said, just get close to her, because it shows you already dealt with that type of stuff and you already experienced that type of stuff. And like I said, the moon is your mind and your emotions. And like I said, Ketu would show that you've already, maybe in a normal, conventional way, explored and felt your emotions and your mind or whatever. So in this lifetime, but like I said, this really depends on the sign and nakshatra that you're in and what house it might fall in. You can be very intuitive with Ketu conjunct moon. You might see things, you might be very intuitive and or maybe psychotic. It really depends. You could have a very psychotic, chaotic mind Because we gotta remember, the South Node and the North Node, they are hidden, shadowy energy, otherworldly energy, something that you can't see. So this could show people who could be like schizophrenic, people who think they see things and hear things that isn't really there. They can see things and hear things that other people can't see. And then they'll just think that you're crazy and have mental illnesses and put you on a whole bunch of drugs to sedate you. So it's possible, depending on signs and nakshatras and house placements, a Ketu moon conjunction can make someone maybe have mental issues, make them real psychotic and all that stuff. Or a Ketu moon conjunction can make someone very intuitive. They can see otherworldly things, ghosts, spirits, apparitions, communicate with people of the other side of the other realm. They are no longer using their mind and emotions in a normal conventional way that other people might use them. Because K2 shows that you already used your mind. You already dealt with things of the moon before. You already dealt with the mind and the emotions before. So you might not desire to deal with those things in a normal way. You don't process your emotions in your mind the same way that another person might think. You think illogically. You think differently. K2 is headless. So your mind is warped. The way you think and feel is warped. And like I said, moon is also a significator of liquids, fluids. This can show, especially if like the moon is it's the second lord, or it has some type of connection with the second house or the second lord, you might not desire to drink. Since moon represents liquids. And K2 is like headless and represents the things you already experienced and dealt. You might be someone who might not have a desire to really drink a bunch of liquor or whatever, or consume really fancy exotic things. You could be real picky with the things you consume. Or if you do like consume drugs and liquor, you might want something real hard, real over intoxicating, to really give you some different experience, some different buzz in your life. I'm about to just briefly go over look at the notes on my phone, make sure I'm not missing nothing. But K2 moon conjunction is very general unless we know the nakshatra that this sign is in. There really is nothing else you can say about this, because the moon isn't really a significator of too many things, and unless we know what house the moon rules and what sign and nakshatra the moon is in, I can't go into greater details of what it shows that you have already dealt with and what you might not have a desire to do, except for the general karaka and significators of moon. So hopefully it helped, and if it didn't help, oh well. I did what I could do with this, with what I know and with what other people know, and it's just simply the truth. But see you when I make my next conjunction video.